Recently, some of our team were up in Southwold. It's a regular place for them to visit once a year in the winter. Who doesn't love a seaside town in the winter? I think there's something great about that when the wind's blowing in from the North Sea and you're wrapped up warm and there's nobody about and you can drift up and down and you can even get in a pub and you don't have to queue for the fish and chip shop. All good reasons to go to Southwold in the winter. And the other good reason to go there is the Adnams Brewery, which produces quite a number of drinks, but I think the best known one's going to be Ghost Ship, and whenever I'm up that sort of way, that tends to be my tipple. They've also got a gin distillery there now, which is an addition. That's at the Copperhouse Distillery, so that's why they say the spirit of Southwold. But they've been in the brewing game, brewing ales for many, many years. It's got some history there for sure, hasn't it? I just like to look at these buildings. I mean, we'll talk about brewing because I think actually I'm a big fan of the English pub, and I think that we're in danger of losing way too many, to the point where something's going to have to be done to revive them, and we'll probably end up bringing them back as kind of theme pubs. You know, they won't be genuine in pubs, there'll be some sort of pastiche. So long as we can keep the old ones going and we can keep as many as possible going. Now, I'm not advocating drinking irresponsibly here. I drink responsibly, but I like to go into a pub, and even though it's a bit of an expensive do these days, I still think that it's one of the great British institutions, if you like. It's a very fine-looking old building, isn't it? But it's looking a little bit worse for wear. So first thing I'd like to say is this water tank on the top. I've been involved in a few of these, and this is a Braithwaite water tank, which is made up in sections. And you can see, if you just about make up that they've got ties going through the middle of this tank. So those rods will go all the way through from one end to the other, straight through the tank, to hold it together, to stop it from bulging out. Other than that, a pretty standard Braithwaite tank, except that they've put a pitch roof on it. You don't always get a pitch roof, and they've got a loft there, and I suspect that little hatchway in there is probably for bats or something like that. While we're up here, while we're looking, and the great thing about these photographs, you can see, I think they might be missing a stop end on that gutter. When you get right down here, you can see that the water is landing on the ground and splashing up. In fact, it's doing it all the way round. They put some render in the bit around the side here. I think that's all been rendered up, yeah. Bit of sand and cement render there. But over here, you can see that the splash up has eaten away at the mortar, it's eaten away at the bricks, and they're going to have to do something fairly extensive there to reinstate those bricks. And here it's even worse because they've got a big green patch here. Once those bricks have been saturated, you can see how they've been washed away. Somebody's done a bit of repointing, but hasn't really worked, has it? So what I'm saying to you, Adnams, is that it's time you got the guys out, got a couple of cherry pickers. If it's difficult to put scaffolding around there, it probably is, being on the road. Clear those gutters out and just make good in a few of those places. You do yourself a favour. Now, I don't know whether this water tank is still used, but Adnams have undertaken some fairly innovative water recycling initiatives lately. On their new distribution depot, they've got a green roof, and they collect the water and use it, the grey water, to flush their loos, obviously put through filters and so on. They also recycle the steam from the distillery and use it in the brewing. They've been really careful about what they do, and they've actually managed to save themselves quite a bit of money on their gas bill, quite a bit of money on their water bill. Doesn't make the beer cheaper, unfortunately. And they've also built the distribution centre out of hemp and lime bricks. But this building is in danger of being sadly neglected, which would be a great shame. But let's look up here. This is intriguing, isn't it? Because up here we've got these bird boxes. I'm a big fan of having a bird box. I've got a bird box myself for the tits. They come every single year into that bird box, and I'm just about to put an owl box up in the tree at the end of my garden because we get owls. Well, it's not every night, but I do hear them in the night hooting away. So I'd like to give them some quality accommodation if I can. But talking about quality accommodation, let's have a look at these boxes, because these are swift boxes. I'm always struck when I'm in rural France of just how many swifts and swallows and house martins there are in those buildings, and I think it's down to a lot of different things. They got quite a few initiatives on cutting down insecticides and things like that. There's whole areas of France where you're not allowed to use any of that kind of stuff. The other thing that they do is a lot of their buildings leave places for birds to nest, and I think that's really important, because there was this proposal to make it law that you had to put a swift brick in every new build, but they did away with it. The Labour government, funnily enough, decided not to go down that route, which I think is a bit of a shame, because if we just had a few more of these boxes, you may not know, but swifts, they sleep on the wing, and apart from breeding, which I think they do on the ground, they come down to breed at low level. They've got pretty useless feet. They can't actually stand, so they can't land anywhere too low. When I said the ground, it's never the ground, because once they're on the ground they can't get moving again, so they have to kind of find themselves places which will give them a bit of elevation, so that when they come out of that box, first thing they can do is drop slightly, pick up their speed, and then away they go, so they're not flapping their wings to take off. So how do I know these are swift boxes? Well, the reason is that they've got this elliptical hole, and they need that because when the swift comes in, it comes in at a hell of a speed, and they will come in, line themselves up with that little hole, and they won't bring their wings into the very last minute, because they haven't really got claws that they can hang on to the edge of that box. If you look at those boxes, if you look at something like the tit box, for example, all round the bottom edge of that hole, you will see the scratch marks where the bird has grabbed hold of it on its way in and out. But let's go back to this lovely old building. You can see there's a bit of deterioration around the wooden window frame, so not only does it need these gutters doing, but it needs a bit of TLC all the way around there. It's this Braithwaite tank. You imagine this full of water. 1 gallon of water weighs 10 pounds, or 1 litre of water weighs a kilo. That's a lot. So you can find the cubic capacity of that, and you can tell immediately how much the water in that weighs. Plus, of course, all those cast iron panels on the Braithwaite tank, a huge amount of weight, and it's a testimony to how good bricks are, really, that they've stood up and they were able to support that. Because if you look at it, you've got all the way along the side here, you've got continuous brickwork, but at some point that brickwork comes down and there's some kind of walk through here, so there'd be a lintel, some kind of steel beam maybe going through there inside the building that we can't see behind that roof. So all that weight of that tank is coming down on this corner, being transferred down here and being transferred down here. So you can see what the weight has done on that corner. See the cracking on the brickwork all the way down the edge there. It gets to the point here where it's cracking all the way down there. So there's your weight coming right down on there, and there's a crack there, and there's a lintel going across transferring weight. So even when you get up here, you've got all this weight coming down there, there and there, and it's being transferred down. But when it gets to here, where's it going to go? It's got to arch over there, and it's got to go over there, and it's got to go over there. So it's being concentrated on those 3 points, and all that up the side is half of it. The other half is probably over there, but half of it is coming down in exactly the same place as all that lot. And then when it gets down here, it doesn't even go straight to the ground there. It makes another little deviation round there and round there. So as I say, it's a testimony to the strength and the versatility of bricks, that they're able to withstand that kind of load for year after year, you know, sometimes hundreds and hundreds of years, and no trouble. But you can see just here and here where they've put some kind of wall ties in there, they've had to do some kind of reinforcement. And it may well be that on the inside of that wall they've got a steel beam which is coming down, and maybe even a steel beam going across there. There's a wall tie over there which is holding that corner in a bit, isn't there? One way and another, that's a building that has had a bit of movement in the past, but for all those people who are worried about cracks in the building, you can see that it actually hasn't fallen down, it hasn't done any great harm to the building, and it can all be fixed. It's all fixable. That's the great thing about brickwork. You can take a bit out, replace it, and you can see all this bit up the top looks like it's been replaced at some time. And there's some more Swift boxes up there. I think they're Swift ones. They all look to be the same shape, so they're all probably the same design. But good on them, good on them. That's another reason why I will raise a pint of ghost ship to the spirit of Adnams. As I say, fine institution. We've got these lovely breweries. It would be a great shame if they disappear. I know the pubs are in trouble, and when you look at it, it's a tax. You know, the VAT, the duty on a pint of beer and everything else, and then they whack them for, you know, all kinds of charges that it's harder to employ staff because of the national insurance. I think our government is doing everything it can to strangle what we might call a hospitality industry. It's a foolish thing to do because, it does create jobs and it does attract tourism, because I don't think there's many tourists that come to this country, even if they don't drink, they still want to poke their nose inside an English pub and soak up that hospitality. I know when I'm doing my walks around London that a lot of the foreign visitors are very, very keen to find out about these pubs and go in these lovely old pubs. And I keep saying I love a London pub. I can sit in a London pub and just people watch. It's not that I want to do loads and loads of drinking. I think I'm supporting my heritage, the English heritage, by having a pint of beer in a pub when I can. Obviously not when I'm driving. Let's just look at this brickwork round the edge here, because you can see that these are red rubbers. They've put these in as feature bricks all the way round, and once again you see the red rubbers have deteriorated quite a lot. They've done a bit of pointing there and it hasn't actually helped the situation, because those red rubbers, they're fired to a lesser degree than other bricks, so that they can be shaped, so that they can be used as feature bricks, and it means that they are more susceptible to frost and just general erosion. I mean, this is a coastal location, so even in these side streets, these back streets, there's still a fair amount of wind and rain and salt and goodness knows what blowing around this town, isn't there? But lovely building, lovely brewery. May it be there for a good many years to come. Hopefully I might even get to visit it. I'm almost 90% sure that they do tours. Most breweries do. And Adnams have got a few shops around, scattered all around Suffolk, Norfolk, Essex, that kind of area. You'll find Adnams retail outlets where you can buy their beers and various other bits and pieces, souvenir type things, and also their gin. I'm not a gin drinker, but I might give it a go just to see, just to support the industry. My goodness, don't I sacrifice a lot, don't I, really, just to keep these businesses going. Anyway, I'm Roger Bisbee. Let me know what you think. I hope you found that interesting. You may not. You may have gone ages ago, but if you stuck with me, thank you very much for watching.